Hey, everybody. Today, we're going to go ahead and talk about my complete trading plan and system for 2024. I've got it all laid out, all planned out, and now we're getting ready to share it with the world. And so I hope that this is assisting you in helping you get your plan together. I'm going to call this 2024 the year of great wealth. Okay. So I'm really excited about it. And I'm hoping that everybody is as well. So I'm going to dive right in and I'm going to cover everything. I'm going to include this is going to be for the podcast. And also, if you're watching on YouTube as well, by the way, if you're a podcast listener, I really think that it would be great for you to try to get onto YouTube. I'll include the link in the description because I'm going to be doing more frequent updates on YouTube. But the podcast is going to be really important, especially if you're driving or if there's a time when you can't be at the computer and you want to listen. I don't like to listen to podcasts while I'm sitting at the computer. I just don't. But when I'm driving or maybe even sometimes working around the house or something, I will listen to a podcast, but I won't do it on the computer. And so that's why it's good to have two different formats. Uh, so yeah, anyways, I'm going to make this useful for everybody across the board. So first, I want to just say that my plan is going to be a comprehensive plan, which means I'm going to cover not just trading, but I'm going to cover my spiritual health, my physical health, my family and my wealth and my relationships. I want to kind of do the whole gamut, right? Life is short. We need to plan ahead. We want to think long term. And I was just saw a quote by someone I'm following on Twitter. I can't remember who he was right now, but he's like, look, you need to be planning at least 5 years out because your kids now, they're going to be graduating college. They're going to be starting their families. They're going to be, making their lives ahead. So you want to help them out. So you want to do your due diligence so you can help your family. Right. And I know that everybody that's listening here is totally in agreement with that. And so I'm just doing this and I hope that it can motivate you. And another one of the big goals that we're going to be doing here for 2024 is with my podcast and YouTube channel. I'm going to be working on trying to build out at least 4 millionaires, right? We want to build out 4 millionaires. And so that's going to be very exciting. Actually, I take that back. It's not 4 millionaires, it's 10. We're going to be trying to make 10 millionaires. So hopefully that's exciting for you all. I've actually already gotten a ton of comments and people are very excited about that. And how I'm going to do that, I'm going to lay out my trading plan and all my other plans here. But the way that I'm going to do it is I'm going to be dropping major nuggets and bombs on social media and YouTube all the time. And I have them at my email list too. I'm going to be doing that all of the time. Okay. And whatever I learn, I'm going to be passing on to you. And whatever I do, I'm going to be passing on to you. I saw some comments about currency trading and they're like, oh, well, currency trading is very difficult. And I said, yes, I know. But they're like, but it's hard for us to trade US stocks in Europe. So I'm like, okay, well, that makes sense. And so with that being said, I want to help you guys on the currency side, right? I want to really add some value there, show you what I'm doing. Like if you go back to a couple of my videos recently, I dropped a CAD yen trade. And sometimes I mix some things in to the videos. I might like drop a stock trade, a Forex trade, a crypto trade. I might do a lot of those different things and people will be like, oh man, it's hard to follow. Well, I'm sorry for that. I could just do a video just on CAD Yen so you could take the time to watch that. But because I'm doing so much across the board, I have to do it all at once. And so you're going to have to just filter through that content, listen to it, watch it, take notes on it, all of that good stuff so that you can get those nuggets to apply to your own trading plan. Okay. And all right. So with that being said, I went camping today, and I started my hike and I twisted my back, and I wasn't really even doing anything. And if there's anybody that's listening that's a back person, you can either contact me at podcast@tradingstrategyguides.com or leave a comment on the YouTube video, any back tips. But I'm probably going to go to a chiropractor very soon. And I was thinking, you know what? I need to put that into my health plan because I sit a lot at my computer. I'm doing the trade updates. I'm always focused on trading, and it's really impacting my health. And so I've got to do that for this year. Okay. I've got to. All right. So with that being said, I got to come up with a health plan. So one of my health plans is I'm going to work on exercising every day. And I'll be updating you. Not that you guys are really concerned about the health side of it, but you should be looking after your health too. But I'm going to exercise every day. I'm going to work on my diet, and I want to get a standing desk, right? So that's going to be one of the things that I want to do. And it's like going to be important that I keep everybody honest, not keep you guys honest, but you can keep me honest, right? You can call me out. I want to be very transparent about everything that I do this year. I want to lay it all out there for everyone to see everything that I'm doing. Okay. And so that was the health side, exercise, eating right, and a standing desk. Then on the relationship side, want to work on my family relationships, my spiritual side, make sure that I'm taking care of my spirit, because we're mind, body, and spirit. We got to do all of those things. And for me, that means staying in the Word of God and staying in church, developing those relationships. Just doing those things are really important. Prayer and worship times, feeding my spirit, getting my spirit alive, nursing and nurturing relationships with family and friends and business relationships. Those relationships are so important, but we have to take time to nurture those. All right, now on to the stuff that everyone's excited about, and that is my trading plan. I want to make 10 millionaires this year, and I've gotten a lot of feedback. A lot of people are very excited about it. So I'm going to just do a quick overview. Actually, so if you're listening on the podcast, don't worry. I'm going to share my screen here for just a minute. But if you're listening on the podcast, that's fine, because I'm going to include a description, an image of everything I'm going over here. And if you've seen the YouTube video, you've seen this already. But I have my 52 trade strategy, which is an option strategy. And you guys are going to be very familiar with all of these. My Infinite Edge Robot, that's a robot strategy, an automated trading, crypto strategy. And then I have Orca, which is a Soul. Orca, I did a video on. I'm going to do more on that. It's basically an interest. I have interest that, and you combine two currencies and you get interest on it. I did a video on it. Then I have my currency Forex trading. Then I have a credit spread, and then I have dollar cost averaging. So that's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 accounts. And that seems a little bit wild, but this is what I do. So you don't have to do 7. If you want, just pick one. And if I was going to tell you one to pick, it would be very difficult for me to do so, because it really depends on what you already know. Okay. So if you're already into options, then I would do 52 trades or backdoor income. If you're already into Forex, then stick with what you know and then what you're good at. If you love crypto, then do crypto. So whatever you love, and then whatever your cash flow situation is. And so I'm building out this dashboard that's going to have the balance on everything. And then so one of the things that is really going to be important about this 2024 plan is that I've got the big goals, right? And that's 10 millionaires. And that it doesn't matter where you start either, right? If you can't get to a millionaire this year because you're only starting with $500, that's okay. But just start somewhere. So don't be saying, how much money do I need? I don't want to see that comment anywhere. Don't say that. Instead, whatever you've got, just start with that. Okay. The very minimum that we're looking to start with would be $500. And that I'm going to cover in the Forex side of things, in the Forex plan that I'm doing, because I'm going to be trading prop accounts. And I'm going to be starting with $500, and I'm going to be taking a $500 prop account. I'm going to pass that test, and I already outlined that as well. So I do repeat myself sometimes on these channels, but I then have specific videos where I dive right into each of the details. So I have a prop account that I'm going to start out with $50,000, and you have to make $5,000 on it. So that's a 10% gain. And I'm planning on doing that over the course of a few months. I'm currently in process. I started that a little bit early, but I'm at $51,500. $51,500. I have to get it to $55,000 to pass. And I'm going to be dropping the trades. As a matter of fact, how many of you noticed that I dropped that CAD yen trade? And so now I'm looking at it right here. I dropped the trade over the weekend, and it's currently already up about 70 pips. And so I went in pretty heavy on that. The trade is currently up in profit right now. Position, it's up about $650. Okay. And so that was the first position that I dropped the bomb on that and over the weekend. Okay. So you got to stick around, and you got to invest, right? I'm investing in you, but you've got to invest in watching these trainings, watching the videos, and commenting. You know, one of my mentors, his name's Perry Marshall, and Perry said something really interesting. I'm actually going to pull up my email and read it to you. But he said, see if I can find it here. He said, you want to make sure that you commit to one guru. Okay. Perry Marshall, you know, he's not a trader, right? He's not a trader, but he's a guy that I follow, and he's a marketer, and he helps me with my business. And so his guru was Dan Kennedy, and he bought everything that Dan Kennedy did, and he followed Dan Kennedy, and he got to know and become friends with him. And now Perry Marshall is insanely massive. Many books he's written, and he just says, go all in with one guru, right? There's 1,000 trading people on YouTube. No. There's 10,000. I'm not saying you got to go with me, but just pick one, work their stuff, and get to know them, and just keep talking to them. You know, I have seen a lot of really awesome people on YouTube. I'm not saying that I'm not one of them. I mean, I'm okay, but I want to build 10 millionaires. And so if that's, you know, I see people in the comments that says that that's who they want to be, they want to do that with me. Well, get engaged, engage with my content, engage with me, and you'll be able to make that transition this year, right? So find your guru and go with it. Okay. So, you know, just some more of the things that I want to talk about here. So I'm going to have a big roadmap, but I'm also doing a short term. I talked about this in my book where I said, look, I used the example. I went on a hiking trip, and it was 70 miles, and I had the big goal of hitting the 70 miles. But then every time there was a mile marker, and every time I hit a mile marker, I would recalibrate, and I would say, okay, what am I going to do for the next mile? How am I feeling? Check in. I'm going to try to hit the next mile in 15 minutes. I'm going to push this mile. I'm going to do it, right? So we're going to do weekly check-ins. I'm going to weekly check in on this. I'm going to do daily trade ideas and updates, but I'm going to update each currency or each strategy every week, right? And so that's going to be one of the key plans of this is I'm going to be updating one each week. Okay, so I've got all of these different plans and strategies, right? And I would say, to be honest, the top two that I feel like could hit the $1 million mark would be the $1 million Forex, because we're going to be using prop accounts. I don't think it really makes a lot of sense to trade Forex or to trade currency without trying to get into a prop account, because with currency trading, you've got to make 2%, 2% a month or 3% is really a good month for currency trading, unless you're just crazy good. And I like to be the turtle, right? I want to get us to be thinking about being the turtle, not the hare. We're not going to get there fast, because if you get there fast, usually you blow it. I had a great comment on my YouTube video when I was saying I was going to build 10 millionaires. One guy said, I've already been a millionaire 2-3 times. He said, I lost it the first time, and then I lost it the second time, and now the third time I'm enjoying it. Right. And I thought that was pretty cool. So we're going to just take our time. We're going to enjoy it. We're going to be the turtle. We're going to, I am guilty. I'm very guilty of being the hare. I'm the guy that jumps around. I've had a lifetime of mistakes and errors because I've been so anxious to be successful that I've made too many mistakes along the way. And now I'm having the long-term plan with the weekly check-ins, with the daily check-ins, just to make sure that I'm accountable and that I'm holding it up for everybody. So you guys are all going to follow along, and I'm going to do updates on the podcast, as well as, I'm going to continue to do some great interviews. So be on the lookout for those. And by the way, when I'm on YouTube and I get a great interview, I'm going to say, go watch this guy because he's awesome. And I'm planning on doing that too with my YouTube video. Like the last YouTube video, I dropped some really good nuggets of some guys that I was following on Twitter. And so I do agree that you should go all in with one guru, but you should still, it doesn't hurt to get additional information, but find one person, go all in with. And I will tell you that if you want to do the $1 million thing with me and you want to go all in, I really appreciate that. But I'm going to be doing a lot of homework for myself and for you guys. So you're going to get a huge benefit of all the research that I'm doing, because I'm going to be working very hard at very, very hard at finding the good information for you guys so that you guys can be successful. And so things that I want you to think about too, along with this plan, is always include the why, right? I've got this big plan here, but I want you to know my why and what your why is. You need to know your why. But mine is, spending more time with family and kids, right? Doing the things, this time is short, doing it and enjoying it. We're planning a big game night on New Year's Eve. It's going to be a lot of fun. Becoming debt-free, achieving financial freedom. I understand the pain of poverty and the pain of financial lack. It really hurts. It's not fun. It's a burden that people have to carry, and it's stressful. And I want to help relieve people of that burden. And I know, like you, as you're watching this, you're like, okay, I have that problem. I need to be relieved of that burden. So, helping people afford their dream car or their home, get your schedule so you could travel without stress, and more time for yourselves for doing things that you're passionate about, right? These are all things that you want to include in your own roadmap, right? In your own plan for 2024. And I'm excited to help as many people as I possibly can. I think it's going to be great. And so let's get it in 2024. Let's make it happen. Don't hesitate to contact me. The best way to contact me is my email at podcast@tradingstrategyguides.com or leaving a comment on one of my YouTube videos. That's the best. But if you have a specific question, please don't hesitate to contact me. Now, I'm going to go over my crypto strategy a little bit. Okay, so I'm still recording. Let's see if the live stream is still good. Sorry about that. Silly. Let's. So yeah, had to get rid of that, but you know what? We're good. We're gonna get back. Okay. So we're gonna do Coinbase here. Share screen. And I want to just go over some things. So one of the things I wanted to go over was I'm sharing the wrong screen. One of the things I wanted to go over was a couple key cryptos. Number one is Sol. I've been talking about Sol. I think Sol's going to be hot. And so here's how my strategy is going to work with Sol. Okay, I am going to be trading this and buying, right? It's ever since November, November 1st, it was at 43. Now it's at 108. I think there's a huge opportunity on it. If I haven't done the analysis already, I'm going to do it right here. I believe that we could hit all-time highs. Actually, let me show you what I really believe. I believe that, you see this move here back in September of 21, and we broke that and created an all-time high. It moved from about 460 up to 200, right? That's a big move. It's about a triple, 60, 180, and then it actually ended up going 240. So about 2.5 increase. So I'm expecting this to do the same this year. And I know that's crazy, but I believe it. I believe you could go 260, double 500, then maybe halfway there. So I think we could get 800. But like I always say, it doesn't really matter what I think is going to happen. I'm just going to trade what I see. And so if I look at this chart, what I see is a big explosion and a lot of bullish momentum. And I think it's going to continue. And so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be buying on pullbacks, right? Anytime we get a pullback, right now is a pullback. So I got to see how deep it will go. And I'm going to buy. It might go to 80, might go to 100. I'm going to be looking at buying. Okay, so that's one of my key crypto strategies is Solana. Now, another big part of this is that Solana is a network. Okay, this is where having, staying connected with me and watching my training and watching my video is really important because Solana is an ecosystem. It's a network, just like ETH is an ecosystem. There's a lot of different tokens on ETH. Solana has a lot of different tokens. Well, ETH had a big blow up a while ago. And what I mean by blow up is it exploded in value. And a lot of those alt tokens, they call them alts, a lot of those alts went ballistically high. Okay. And I believe that the same thing could happen with Solana. So as Solana is exploding, it could go 5x from here, which is awesome. But some of these alts could do 10x, 100x, 1000x. And so I'm going to be putting the bulk of my money in Sol and working with the Solana network, but I'm going to be looking for Sol altcoins. And I want to find one of those altcoins and see if I can take massive advantage of the altcoins, and get something that does 10x, 100x, 1000x. So if I have the bulk of my money in here and I put $100 in an altcoin and the altcoin goes 1000x, you go take 100 and times that by 1000, that's really good money. Or even in some cases, 10,000x. You take 100 and you times it by 10,000, right? So let's just do that on the calculator. You put $100 in, you times that by 1,000, you got 100,000, right? You take $100 and you times it by 1,000, 100,000, right? Take it by 10,000, you got $1 million. So there's some opportunity for some of these altcoins. Is it possible that I'm going to find one that's going to 10,000x? I don't know. I have no idea if I am, but I'm going to be giving myself the opportunity. Okay. I'm going to give myself the opportunity to find that. All right. And by putting money in I'm going to do research and I'm going to lay it out on the YouTube channel. And if you guys have anything you want me to look at, let me know. In fact, one of the users said, let's talk about Bitcoin. So I'm going to do that. Okay. And I am a big believer in Bitcoin too. Let's look at this. Okay. This here shows that we hit 64,000 back in April of 21. And then we had a really monster retrace, and then we hit another all-time high. So we're back in a bull market here very clearly. It's very clear that we're in a bull market, and Bitcoin does stages. So you can see we did a breakout here. So this was the bull. And when it broke out of the box, right? So right here at 24,000 was when I'm like, okay, we're in the game. And so then from there, we did another box. It's a box to box. And now, we're in another box. We broke out. And guess what? We're back in another box. It's always going to be like that. So I think we're pretty close here. As you can see, one more leg up and we're at all-time highs. And so the same kind of thing. And I did a video on this a year ago, 2 years ago, maybe. And it's this talking about with Solana. Look at what happens when Bitcoin makes all-time highs. Okay, because we did right here was an all-time high at 20,000. And when it finally broke, it took years. You see, we got a big box. How long did it take? We got 2018 down here and 2021. It took 3 years, but when it did, we went from 19 all the way up to 64. We got a big move, okay? And so now we got this all-time high right here at 70. That's the big target. That's what everybody's looking for, okay? And so what does that mean for us? That means we're going to try to ride this bad boy up here. And once it gets up, we're looking for another move like what we saw before, okay? And so I think that it would not be out of the question to see it get to 100K, 200K, 250. especially with everything that they're talking about right now with the ETFs and the halving. It's going to be really, really, really scarce. Now, so where are we looking at right here in Bitcoin? Okay. We got another box. So where's the trade? Anytime it pulls down to the bottom or if it breaks out the top. Either one of those are trades in my opinion. And so be watching this. I'm not going to be trading this very much because I'm invested in Sol and the Sol ecosystem. That's where I'm going to put my attention. If Bitcoin pushes, that's going to help all the other cryptos. So I think Sol could have a higher ROI. And so it's all about the ROI. I think Bitcoin could have a 2, 3, 4, 5x ROI. So you're going to be great investing in it. But I'm thinking that Sol's going to be higher. Right. So that's what, and I could be wrong. Right. So if you have more information that I have, then go for it. Do whatever it is that you want to do. So also, let's take a look now at another one that I'm really invested in, and you have seen me talk about it before, and that's SHIB. SHIB. Okay, SHIB is it's up 4% today, but the same kind of thing. You know, if it breaks the all-time high, we could get a really big blast. So right now, though, let's just zoom out what's happening here. This one has been a lagging. Last month, it's been really good since October 23rd, but it's been lagging a little bit, which is sometimes a good opportunity because when the profits are made in Bitcoin, you pull those out and you put them into here. But you can see we got a box right here. And so I think when it breaks out, we've got another one over here. You know, I think we could get up to 17. So if we break out of here, this is the big number to look at, 12. If it's 12, I think we're going to 17. Okay, and that's a big number here, and it's a big gain. And then if it gets out of there, same kind of thing. I think we could be getting to all-time highs. So, so part of my plan is I'm heavily invested in this. I have about 1.3 billion tokens. And if it gets up to all-time high, if it gets back up here, which is 88, 88, 89, 88, 91, if it gets back up there, for me, with my 1.2 billion tokens, that would be roughly $100,000 trade. That's roughly what that would be. Okay. And that would be about a 10x ROI. That's for me, right? And so I've been investing in this for a while as it's been flat and sideways. I just put a little bit in. And speaking of that, I just watched a video from a guy. His name's Bob Sharp, a YouTube guy, and he said he put in $5 a day in the market, right? $5 a day, 365 days. And I'm going to start teaching this concept because this is really what helped me get ahead. And so that's one of the things about the plan that I wanted to run through everybody was that, you know, you don't have to have a lot of money. You just got to get started. And once you start putting the money in, your attention is going to start focusing towards the markets. $5 a day, you know, if you have, that's $35 a week. That's not a lot of money. Anybody should be able to do $5 a day, depending on where you live and how much you make. In the US, for sure. In other parts of the world, $5 is a lot more. But I don't want you to even focus on the number. Pick a number that's reasonable. You know, $5, if you make $350 a week, $5 is about 10%. So that's not a lot, right? But if you are making much more, you know, if you're making $1,000 a week, why not put in 100 a week instead of $5 a day? Put in a little bit more, right? Whatever you can afford, you should put in. And that's why staying out of debt is so important. And, you know, being good with managing your money is really critical. so that you can get yourself a potential return. If you put $5 a day in and you get 10% ROI a year, that's going to be $500,000 after 40 years. Now, not everybody wants to wait 5 years or 40 years, but the type of trading that I'm trying to show you, we're going to get higher returns than 10%. I'm going to give you some secret techniques, like the technique of getting into the $1 million Forex account. We're going to do that with just a $500 investment. And so stay tuned for all of that. And if you guys have any other questions, let me know. Looking forward to seeing your success. I'm about it, and it's going to be a great year. So thanks a lot, and let me know if you have any questions, and we'll see you. And hold me accountable. I want to hold myself accountable. The highest form of government is self-government. But looking forward to having an amazing year. It's going to be a breakout year for me, and I want that to be a breakout year for all of you. All right. Well, until next time, thank you.